Neal Fauver, this is my Marine Corps story.
Neal Fauver, welcome to the show.
I appreciate it, man. It's an honor. Thanks for having me on, man.
Hey, thanks for taking on the show so short notice. I know we had some scheduling conflicts, and I know what you were talking about, like having your kid and stuff like that. I deal with the same thing, and it's always on a Sunday too. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. It's funny because like I'm not I wouldn't say a busy guy, but whenever plans do come up, it's usually like let's pack it all into a weekend, like a day and a half or maybe 2 days tops. We'll do it all then, you know. But
yeah, for sure.
other uh, other than that, man, it's just me here at the house and not doing much of anything.
Yeah. Well. So I know you were over in my neck of the woods. What were you doing over here? Like exactly?
Yeah, so last weekend, uh, so I guess I can start from the beginning. Myself, I'm good friends with a guy named Mike Francis. He was in 3-6 Lima Company as well. He was actually on the way out of the Marines whenever I was coming in, and we never. I don't think we even talked, But so just trying to fast forward and make it quick. Not trying to draw it out,
No,
but
take your time. Take your time,
he
man.
he 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 uh he started a podcast, and this is like 2 years ago. But he had me come on and just told my story and what I was doing and that kind of thing. And man, I just thought, man, I think this guy could use some more guests, And so I had somebody come on. He was an actor. His name is Scott Gibson. He came on and he talked a little bit with us, and it kind of went from there. We became friends with a beautiful, amazing woman named Tracy Hunter. She has a nonprofit called Beyond the Call. It gets World War II veterans out to like battlefields, places like Pearl Harbor, that kind of thing. Getting them out of the house essentially, man. That a lot of these guys are isolated, but that's the kind of thing that she does. Well, this last weekend, we've since become good friends over the course of a couple of years, and of course, Mike and I got the invite to go out there, and what it was for was it was an annual like a panel conference at the museum there in Fredericksburg, the National Museum of the Pacific War. Uh, the Nimitz Conference is what it's called. So we went out there. Some of the Black Rifle guys, the coffee company, some of those guys were out there. A couple of the actors from the Pacific were out there. Just kind of just really just talking about like World War II. It was the end of World War II, or 80 years after. It was essentially getting everybody together and talking about like the propaganda and the culture and everything that was wrapped up inside of World War II. And that's pretty much what it was about, man. We just went out there and just kind of talked a little bit about that and celebrated you know with everybody who was there.
Yeah.
It was a good time, ending of a major conflict.
For sure, yeah. I
So
think it's very important what you're talking about doing. And that's kind of like what I started doing with this show, but I'm trying to do it a little bit earlier. Obviously, like I don't want us to be in the History Channel and like we're
meh,
well, some of us are like 80 plus years old, and it's like, oh, let's talk about the global war on terror, and
yeah.
they're gonna have some dude that was like, no offense to whoever's watching this, like some supply dude, and like, yeah, man, I was getting it doing this. So I think it's equally as important to get the history, like you said, the propaganda that was behind everything, and then yeah, man, I just want to do it before we're too old or
Yeah, yeah, I
worse.
agree. Yeah,
Um,
I agree, man.
yeah,
Because I
I
mean,
even go
like,
ahead.
oh yeah, I was just thinking because you think about it now, it's already. I mean, what Iraq was over as OIF, it was over in what 2011, and it's like damn already. It's already
Yeah.
it's been over 10 years.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
mean, dude, the pullout was what the Afghanistan withdrawal was 4 years ago already,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's crazy because we went to a lot of people that even some of my guests. I mean, some people didn't know that Afghanistan was the reason why we started the war,
yeah,
and then yeah, just I mean, that was what 23 years ago, man. And it's
Yeah.
just time flies, dude. Because I'm 32, so that's what 9 years. Yeah, dude, just wild times. And my friend has a similar kind of like nonprofit thing. I forgot what it's called, 86 or something like that. And then he brings like platoons together that deployed, not just like
Oh yeah, yeah.
because I know like the Marines are real big on like getting the battalions of like different eras together, right? But like he's specific like platoon, so
Right.
I think that's really good because like you're never going to be as tight with another platoon or whatever as the ones you deployed with, you know?
Yeah, yeah. That's like yeah, much smaller unit action there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I know
And
we were because I know we were big on the. We have it was just last year that we actually it was a company reunion, Lima company reunion for the '07 deployment
mhm,
specifically. So yeah, I think there must have been like 80 something, maybe 80 guys there. I want to say
yeah,
it was a good turnout, man. But yeah, those are I think those are so important, man. The reunions, and
yeah,
I know a lot of people they might have feelings or emotions that are like drummed up from thinking about that kind of thing. Maybe even nerves or anxiousness. Man, I did. I know I had that right before I went, but I was like, you know what, man? If I'm sure if I just go and show up, and as soon as I see the first few faces, it's gonna be just like it was back in the barracks and all that kind of. And it was a great. That was one of the best weekends of my life, man. And if anybody out there has an opportunity, man, I highly recommend it. It's good. It's therapy you didn't know it was there.
yeah. I think what I've noticed too is right, like you serve with a group, and then the older you get, the more different you realize people are, and that's another reason why we don't really like do like. I mean, from everything from like religion to politics, and then like you guys forget. And this is what I've been wanting to say this on my Facebook because like, dude, ever since I blew up, it's just like, man, there's nothing but politics everywhere. And I'm like, dude, I was like, you guys need to realize what we were, right? Like what we
Yeah,
were
yeah,
and what we still are is like, hey, you got to remember the military treated every single one of the ranks like a piece of crap. You know what
yeah,
I mean? So we're at the very end of the day, that's who we are. Like we need to remember
yeah,
that's who we are. And
yeah,
stop
yeah,
getting bent out on the left, the right, the religion aspect, and just we need to come together and remember the shit that we agree upon, you know?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, I agree, 100%, man. I always say it too. I'm like, we all know how it felt to, you know, put all that aside
Right.
because when the first round snaps over your head, you're not thinking about, oh, this guy over here is on the left, this guy over here is on the right. That means more than what the hell's going on around my damn head right now. Like no,
Yeah.
it didn't matter. It did not matter at all. As a matter of, I don't recall just sitting around shooting the shit with any of the guys while we were deployed, talking about politics. I don't think it ever came up. At least
No.
not to my memory, anyways. I don't recall it. We were all there in the suck together, and that's what it was. It's all we had was each other.
Yeah, goddamn. That's right, dude. Dude, too, also, you're not thinking about the Marine Corps. You're thinking about the guy on left and right.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. 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 And it's the whole it's patriotism, patriotism, this and that, politics, this and that. It's like, man, no, I love the dudes that are here with me, and we're in the middle of this bullshit together, and that's
Yeah.
and again, we're all we had, but there was nobody else who was going to be out there holding our hand or helping us out or anything. No, it was just us, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
And dude, I can't wait to have a reunion with my guys. I think we're talking about it next year. And it's been what, 2000? Next year will be 14 years since we deployed. And man, I was an 18-year-old kid when I left, dude.
yeah,
I don't know how old you were when you left.
I was I was probably well, I don't think I was the oldest. I wasn't the old. I was 23 when I ended boot camp, so I was what was I 24? Yeah, I was 24 on that first deployment, and then
Yeah.
25 on the second one. Well, I turned 25 on the first one, turned 26 on the second one. So I got to spend back-to-back birthdays in Iraq, back-to-back
Oh,
summer
damn.
birthdays. It was great.
Yeah. What made you join so late?
I don't, man. Honestly, I kept fighting the idea. I think like it's funny, man. My dad was career Navy, and he would have me out, on the back porch, and we would be talking about whatever, and then inevitably the military would come up, and he would tell me all of his like great debauch stories, all the fun stuff, and then what he did, and the kind of friends and brothers that he made. And I was like, it's great. It sounded cool. It was really cool to me, man. But I always ended it with, I don't know, Dad. I don't think the military is for me. And he goes, well, how do you know if it's for you or not if you've never even tried it? I was like, that's a good point. But
That
you
damn
know,
dad has the wise old man
yeah,
wisdom, dude. Huh?
yeah, with no hesitation. Didn't even think about it either. I was like, damn, okay, yeah, that's a good point. But so I was working at a restaurant, and anybody who knows anything about dishwashing at a restaurant, it's not fun. It's not clean. But I did it, and I was earning my money. But over the years, man, like I was moving up and moving around in within it, and I was actually working a pretty cool gig as like a night maintenance person. So overnight, it was just me. I was just me, kind of cleaning up around the area, making sure things are stocked up nice and all that. But it was peaceful. But I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But this is getting close to the time where I was about to enlist, and I kept thinking about it, kept thinking about it. One of my buddies that was there at work with me, he had joined 11 months prior to me enlisting, and we worked together. And I had another friend who was actually reserves, and he was Force Recon out of Mobile. And this is around '04 maybe, '03, '04 time frame. And he would come back. He wouldn't really get too much into it. And my buddy's name is his name is Jesse. He would come back and tell me a little bit about what he kind of sort of saw and did over there. I was like, damn, dude, so that's it's pretty intense, man. So and, then I don't know. They say it's a calling. A lot of people say that the Marine Corps is a calling, and especially going the route that I went. I pulled up in the recruiters, like there's a big, it was like right across from the mall, of course, and it's a big like outlet kind of area. It's got the long like shotgun style buildings, with the multiple recruiting offices there.
Yeah. Like a
And
strip mall.
yeah, it was a typical setup. But I get in the parking lot, and actually I backed in. It's so weird, man, because at the time I never backed into parking spaces, but for whatever reason I just kind of backed in, and I'm sitting there looking at these buildings that are right there in front of me, and all the branches got their signs, their billboards, they're flashy and everything, and you see like the dollar signs, like bonus this, that, and all that good stuff, man. And I'm like, sounds good, whatever. And I look way down here at the corner, down on the corner, there's a pull-up bar. There's a pull-up bar and just like a red sticker on the door. I'm like, I think that's the Marine Corps, so I'm gonna go check them out. They don't have shit out here but a pull-up bar. The pull-up bar got me. The uniforms and the pull-up bar got me. So I go down there, and I go in there. I'm like, look, this is what I want to do, infantry, and send me out as soon as you possibly can. And the recruiter was like, dude, are you sure? I was like, yeah. I'm like, don't try to talk me out of it, man. It sounds like you don't want me to do this, but I'm going to be your easiest sign up, and you're like hesitant about me making this decision, man. But so anyway, he said, all right, man, it's all right. This is what you want to do, and I think I was in the delayed entry program for like 13 days, man, and then I was gone. It was right before Thanksgiving. So I missed I missed Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all that good stuff, the drinking times and with the
Yeah.
family, and missed all that. But it's what I asked for, it's what I signed up for, and yeah, that's pretty much how it went, man. It just kind of it between my dad talking to me, and a couple of Marine friends who told me a little bit about it as well. I always loved like the war movies, like the war genre and all that. So I was like, damn, dude, there is a war going on right now. And of course, I would see some footage on the news, and it just it pulled me in, man. It like I said, it was like a calling. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna go down there and do it, man. And that's how it happened.
Yeah. Um. So, like, did you even consider any other branch of service, or you're like, I just saw the Marines, uniform, the pull-up bar, and you're like, damn, this is the one.
Yeah, I did. I kind of sort of like since my dad was in the Navy, I was thinking about the Navy, and I was like, well, I mean, and this is my ignorant ass talking. I'm like, well, what do they do that's like kind of like gunfighter in the Navy, and it's like SEALs and all that. I was, oh, that sounds cool, man. But something like actually hearing the stories from my two Marine buddies that's what really that's what really like kind of drew me in. I was like, damn it sounds like there's not much to offer other than a lot of pain, suffering, a lot of a lot of physical pain and suffering, maybe some mental anguish. Like
Yeah,
whatever, I do that. I do that anyways at work, man. I'm sleep deprived at work trying to get a high school diploma. When I'm 19 years old, and like man, and I'm coming home covered in grease and food and all that. It's like 2 in the morning. I got to wake up at 5:30 or 6 to go to school, and that's how it was at the end of it all. But yeah, man, I was like, well, it's how much worse can it get?
yeah. Hey,
you know?
so I just want to bring up. You said that you were 19 trying to get a high school diploma.
Yeah, well, so yeah, I wasn't the best kid. So I was on that 5-year high school diploma program. I had to go an extra year just because I was a shitbag student. So yeah, I did it though. I got it. I got the high school diploma.
Oh, okay, so you like were held back a year or what?
Yeah, I had to be held back.
Okay, so
Yeah.
like, why do you think you were struggling in school and stuff like that?
Yeah, it just didn't really interest me, man. As sad as it is to say, as shitty as it is to say, I really wasn't into it. I was just like, man, I just can't get my head into it. So therefore, I wasn't really getting like I wasn't getting all the assignments down, man. I wasn't,
Yeah,
really applying myself, and just overall, just asshat,
yeah.
when it
You
came
know,
to school.
man, it's crazy now. Like I'm thinking about this. Like nowadays, like if that happened to anybody, any kid now, they'd be like, "Oh, you got ADD." Like you know what I mean? Like
Right?
you
Yeah.
got.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Like yeah,
like
there's some. Yeah,
there's something wrong with them
yeah,
or
there's something
something. And
wrong
I'm
with you.
like, bro, people. I was like, dude, the majority of kids don't like school. They force themselves to study and stuff, dude. Like it's not
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. No, no, I did make up for it. I felt like I made up for it when I got out of the Marines. I went to college, and it's funny enough, man, my dad kind of kicked my ass into the college thing as well. He's like, dude, they're gonna pay you to go to school. Like, why wouldn't you want to do that? I'm like, you know what? Damn, you got a good point. Again, so I went ahead and did that, and I got my 2 year. I got my 2 year. All right, I got my 2 year degree, and I worked hard at it. I worked
Yeah,
my ass off with it. So I got my 2 year degree. It was psychology.
yeah,
It was something that it was cool. It was interesting to learn that kind of stuff.
yeah. No, dude, it's important too. Like when I got out of the military, I was like, there's three goals I want to do. I was like, I want to buy a house, I want to get my college degree, and then I want to be a better dad. So
Yeah.
the last one, I am working on it every day with my kid, and it doesn't stop. You know what I mean? It's not like a.
Mm.
It's like where do you measure it at? You know what I mean about being a better parent, and like it's not like a house where you're like, oh, I got a house now, or I got that piece of paper. It's
Hmm.
like, well, where do you keep measuring? Is the hard part. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Yeah, man.
it's also it's super important for me that I'm around my kid because I deployed was it, like 2 months after she was born, and
Oh
then
wow.
my ex left me, and then I didn't get to I didn't see her for like over a year. So then that's why I ultimately made the decision to leave. So um
Oh wow.
so when you okay, so 2004 you joined the Marines. You're like what, 20 years old?
It was 2005. November of '05 is when I joined.
Okay.
So yeah, I was 23 when I joined, and yeah, like I felt like the old man. So what that little gap there, '04, that was my friend Jesse. Back and forth from deployments during that whole time. He's talking to me a little bit about his things. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh man, that's cool. But then that finally, I was like, all right, you know what? It's time to do something else with it,
Yeah.
instead of this, working at the restaurant. But that's when I joined, was November of '05.
Hey, so were you still living with your dad and during this time, like working and living with your dad?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My
Okay.
parents.
What
Yeah.
what happened? I'm actually very curious. What happened? Where were you at? What area of the United States?
Pensacola, Florida.
Oh, it's nice over
So now,
there.
yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's grown a lot. I
Yeah.
live in Pace. It's maybe a 15-20 minute drive
Right.
north, like northeast.
Yeah. So you said that you were very interested in the war movies and stuff. Like, what when you were 19, right? 9/11 happened. Like, what were you experiencing? Like, what was the world like America when the event happened?
Yeah, oh man. So really, really, it was just you know, uh, gosh, man. I guess I could talk about the actual day. I was sleeping. I was asleep. Uh,
Yeah.
and I heard my mom. I think my dad was working out of town at the time, so it was just me. It was just me and my mom there at the house. I just remember hearing her going, "Oh my God," like what? It woke me up. I was like, "Oh man, what's going on?" So I went out there, and of course it's on the TV. And at the time, man, I was like I was so groggy, like tired, like I'm like looking at the TV, like, "Oh man, that's a terrible accident." And then I didn't see it, live. The second tower get hit. I didn't see that live. I think I went back to my room. I was getting myself ready, but I didn't see it. And then it happened. Then the second one hit, and I was like, "Oh man, that's deliberate."
Right.
It's like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
But man, up until that point, dude, the way I remember America to me at the time was I guess carefree. Honestly, it seemed a
Yeah.
lot more carefree. If I had to use one word for it, like everybody was kind of doing their own thing, and everybody was, at ease and at peace with each other, for the most
Right.
part. In my own world, anyways.
Right. Um.
But
When so you're 20. What do you say? 23 when you leave to boot camp. Are you
mhm.
like in pretty good shape or anything like that, or like did you feel like mentally maybe you were gonna have a difficult time over there?
uh, I, I've always loved, and I still do. I always love the gym and staying in it. Keeping in shape. Um, making sure I'm as healthy as I can be. Um, the so I like I that's that's kind of also what drove me towards it. Like I know that they kick you into the dirt a lot, with that kind of stuff. But the mental aspect or the mental side of it, I didn't really think much of it. I just figured, man, if I was also a little older. You know what I mean? Like there, a lot of the
Yeah.
like most of the platoon was gonna be like 18-year-olds, 18 or 19-year-olds. I've already been out in the workforce and I've done the shitty jobs and all that stuff, and I'm like, well, I know it's gonna be different. The culture is gonna be way different than anything I've ever known or experienced. But I felt like mentally I felt okay with it. I felt like I was gonna be all right. And then when it happens, when you get introduced to your DIs and all that stuff, and all the screaming and running around and the mental games start up. It's like, okay, it's kind of how I thought it may be. But I also had the mindset, man, that it's only 3 months. They cannot stop time. you know, it's only 3 months. They can't stop time, and it's a giant fucking game. You know,
Yeah.
get through the game and get your title.
Yeah, it's never honestly, it's never physical, man. If you could just like kind of like put your mind in somewhere else, like dude, it's really easy, honestly, I think, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The whole what the old saying is, what fatigue makes cowards of us all. So you tend to cower down if you're really tired or
Damn,
whatever
that's
from
a
the
good
weekend.
one.
But like, man, and I noticed it. I noticed it the most, and it's funny enough. Like it's walking, hiking. You know, for whatever reason, hiking, I couldn't stand it. I could not stand it because of the pain of it. I'm like, I fucking hate it. But you just do it. You just go through with it. It's again, it's not forever. It's temporary. Pain is only a four-letter word. That kind of thing. Just taking on that mentality. I'm nowhere near done. It's just my mind saying, oh, you should probably go ahead and quit or rest. It's like no, I'm nowhere near finished. You push yourself beyond those mental hurdles. And Yeah, like, it's all mental. It really is. It's all mental.
Yeah.
You know.
So when like going through basic like or boot camp, was it really like difficult like interacting with like the 18-year-olds and everything like that?
No, not really. Not that I can remember. I think I don't know, man. Like I really don't remember saying like, "Oh, you're just an immature 18-year-old." It was always like, I always had that like, I always had the mindset of, we're in it together. I don't
Yeah.
I don't care how old I am or how much older than you I am or any of that. Um, I may or may not be more experienced with just life in general.
Mm,
I don't know. I can't say for sure, but I know that we're here, right now together. This is where we are, but it doesn't matter what we did up until this point right here. That we're here together right now.
yeah.
And it's very much team oriented. You're not going to get through this by yourself.
Mm,
So I always took on that mindset, and I think that helped with a lot.
yeah.
Just you can count on the guys that are there with you. You know.
Right. When you graduate boot camp and you head to the School of Infantry, you knock out your I think it's like 4 weeks from what I've been told. And like what infantry MOS do you get?
I went 0311. The rifleman. I wanted to I wanted to kick down the doors, and I wanted to take the hills and all that. Clear out the bunkers and all that good stuff, man. So I was like, yeah, give me that one, man. Let me give me that. As long as I'm up there in the front, damn it, give me up the front. That's what I always wanted. So let me
Yeah.
do that shit. Sounds so cool, man. But
um,
yeah, that's what I did.
yeah. And then how did you enjoy the training or anything like that? Were like the other instructors, were they like telling you, oh, hey, as soon as you graduate here, you're going to Iraq or you're going to Afghanistan?
Yeah, yeah, uh, yeah. So like, and it's not my story. It's not my story or what any of my drill instructors actually said to me. And this is talking about drill instructors in boot camp. But my buddy that we were in the same platoon in the fleet, and he was telling us a story about like one night I guess they were about to finish up, but they were still in their desert camis. They finally got the deserts right like that. That was like the big thing. You're about to graduate. Hell yeah, you can be a Marine. Well, he said his drill instructor came up to him. He goes, "Hey, his name's Icorn." Hey, Icorn, how does it feel to be wearing the uniform you're gonna die in?" It's like, oh shit, dude. He's like, "I good sir," like that kind of thing. But yeah, that's I can't really like remember anything. None of it's maybe I'm just lucky, I guess, that I never had a drill instructor come up to me and tell me some fucked up shit like that before. But uh, hearing the other guys' stories, man, is it's hilarious. But talking about maybe I guess maybe getting us like mentally prepared for it, like the deployments. Of course they would tell us, hey, look, you need to take this training seriously. Uh, some things are obviously going to be different depending on what unit you go to.
Mhm.
SOPs change, they come and go, blah blah blah. And we're like, oh, okay, cool, makes sense. So it's like it's just the everlasting improvising. Improvise, adapt, overcome. It's ever present.
Yeah.
It's every day. Yeah, man. So they would harp on like, hey, listen to this. All right, at least you're gonna have this before you go to the fleet. And
Yeah.
that was like with the ITB guys, or SOI ITB. Yeah, but they were really good, man. The training was awesome. They would kick your ass in the best way. You get to experience the filth, the fatigue, and the deprivations and all that. So,
Yeah.
and another thing that was interesting, and I don't know why. I don't know why we did it. But we did a lot of like trench warfare training. Like I was like, huh, this is interesting in like fields, trenches, and all that. And I
Yeah.
think maybe it was simulating like room clearing almost. Like hitting a corner or pieing off a bunker or something, whatever it may be. But that was it was good because it was exhausting. I didn't realize how exhausting. didn't realize how physically taxing like trench warfare training could be, but because you're moving around, jumping, and you're running low the whole time, and you're weighed down with what I was a saw gunner, so I was always carrying the weight of
Yeah.
600 to 800 rounds or whatever with the saw, and then hunched over most of the time. And you get done, you're like, oh god, oh man, it feels good to stand up straight, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, when you get to the fleet, like what this is like what 2006 maybe?
It's six, yeah, summer,
Yeah.
June of '06. Yep.
And
So I
then
made it to 3-6.
where's that at?
It's Camp Lejeune
Camp Lejeune.
in
That's Carolina, right?
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. How long? Like when you get to the fleet, man. Like obviously, the first fucking week sucks over there, right? Because you just got like Marines that are disgruntled and salty, that
Yeah,
just
yeah,
they came back from war, right? And they're over here like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
this got some brand new E3 is like, man, I get to mess with this guy, like, you know what I mean? So when
Yeah.
when you get to the fleet, man, like, did your unit just come back from a deployment or anything like that?
So yeah, whenever we dropped, I think there wasn't many of us actually. There was maybe there must have been maybe 15, 20 if I remember correctly. But well, I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but I do remember standing there on this this long walkway, and of course we were standing in formation, and we had to wait for I believe it was. I don't even know if it was like our platoon sergeant. I can't remember who it was, man. But they came out and said, yeah, here you are. You're at 3-6 Lima Company. Da, da, da. Of course, they had our barracks rooms assigned to us, and it was actually kind of full, like almost like overpopulated, because the first my first barracks room, I was in there with two other Marines, and they're 2-man barracks, they're 2-man rooms. So I took the deck. I slept on the floor for the first maybe month, I want to say, until they actually got some of the older guys who were getting out of the barracks, and then they reassigned and finally got a 2-man room. I actually get a rack. It's cool. But yeah, man, like when we got there, I remember looking up at the up at the barracks. Of course, they're 3 stories high. There's 3 catwalks, and all these Marines they're sitting out there enjoying their libo, and they're drinking a lot. And some of them still have camis on. Some of them have just like their trousers on with their boots, and they got no shirts on. They're leaning over the rails like this, just looking, man, just like they're like, oh, you guys are fucking boots. You guys suck. We can't wait till they release y'all to us. And they're just sitting there. It reminds me of like it's like one of those scenes you see in like the prison movies and shit. When all the dudes are just lining up, so just looking down. It's like, fuck, man. Here the hell we go, man. And I think that was probably the only time where I thought, well, shit, man, I'm 23, man. These motherfuckers up here are only like 19, 20 years old, man. I was like, nah, that don't matter here. It doesn't matter
Right,
here.
right.
But yeah, man, it was pretty nerve wracking, man, at first, but uh, because a lot of those guys, I think they were at the rifle range. I think they were at the time when we got dropped in. They were a lot of them were at the rifle range still, so they were getting requalled and all that good stuff. So, and of course they had been on deployment. They had just gotten back from it was an '05 deployment to Iraq. So yeah, man, they were looking forward to introducing themselves, to all of
Yeah.
us.
How long were you like with that? How long were you in the garrison environment before you move over to Iraq?
What was that June '06? So
Just
7 months. Yeah, about seven
Oh, so
months, I
they
want to
just
say.
got back.
Yeah, man. The op tempo was insane. It was insanity. It's all it was training for deployment, deploying, coming back and training the new guys to get ready for deployment,
Yeah,
deploying again. That's all it was, man. It was crazy. The op tempo
dude.
was insanity then.
Yeah, I think about that stuff, right? Like, I don't know what you guys call it in the Marines, but in the Army they call it like platoon level sticks. You know, they got company level, battalion, and then it's just like then you go on a deployment. Now, like the infantry is like training for that, but there's like no, there's no like, hey, you know, here's the Super Bowl. You know, like
Right.
you're just training, and you're like, I'm gonna go back and train again. You know, it just sucks.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. There's no yeah. The glory is when you get home and you see your family, right? That's
right, right. There's
you
like
know,
they're like, damn, I'm not going to war. You know, kind of just sucking.
oh yeah, man. Oh dude. Yeah, like if you wanted if it was war and all and combat and all that deployments you were looking for at that time, man, with us, man, it was you got it. You know, your wish it comes true, but
Right.
yeah,
How was the
man, I
training?
just it was really good. Really good training. You know, they if we so because we were getting ready to deploy, if for whatever reason we couldn't pull weapons out of the armory, so a lot of the times
Hmm.
we would go down the armory, pull weapons, and then we would conduct training wherever we could, whenever we could. You know, a lot of the
Yeah.
time there's white space, a lot of admin stuff going on that of course, we don't know anything about. We just know that we're at work and we're just sitting there, you know, like waiting for something. Like, what the hell are we doing? But a lot of that white space will be filled by like squad leaders or fire team leaders saying, "Hey, look, get your Marines up, start fucking running some training, do something." You know, they'll be sitting around. And so, man, we would fucking, if we couldn't pull weapons out of the army, we'd use broomsticks, you know, and clear barracks rooms and shit with broomsticks. Uh, but yeah, man, so whenever we did field ops, a lot of the time, I don't remember them being like super long. You know, a few days, you know, a few days out of the week here and there. They tried, like higher up state, I guess they tried to get us back before the weekend, you know, so we could actually enjoy the weekend. But you know, we get back and inevitably have to you know clean weapons for like 5 hours when we finally get out of the field. So like, damn, dude, this sucks, man. We're just sitting here cleaning weapons. I'm dehydrated. My hands are cramped up while I'm trying to like get into the little crevices and shit. I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
this. Can we just let's just fucking go, man. I'm ready to drink. I'm ready to dehydrate myself further with beer. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, the training was great, man. You know, again, I mean, like it's it's like from boot camp all the way to fleet, man. Once the ass kicking started, they didn't stop. You know,
Right.
in the best
When
way. You know, in the best way.
Yeah. So okay. So you're the training's good. You know, I'm pretty sure you go to. Do you guys do the 29 Palms thing where you guys kind of
Uh,
like get certified or whatever?
yes, yeah. So that was pretty much the culmination of everything we learned during the last like 6 months or so. We would always go out there for a month and do all the you know, the combined arms and everything. Um, and of course, we ran range 400 was like the Super Bowl of all the training. So you know, and that was like tanks, air, you name it, we had it, and everything was live. You know, very cool, awesome, exhausting again, but it
Yeah.
was cool, very cool training.
Yeah.
But yeah, that we always took off to CAX. That was maybe a month and a half before we were to deploy. You know,
What is that called? What did you call it? CAX?
CAX, yeah, CAX, combined arms exercise.
Oh, okay.
Out there in Mojave. Yeah,
Oh, that's what
29
they call it.
Palms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
what area of Iraq are they telling you guys are going to?
Um, I think they were telling us it was Habania. It was Habania. So uh, it, initially, we all thought that like Habania was going to be like a just like a main. There was a big main camp there. It was Camp Hob. We just called it Camp Hob. It used to be like in World War II, it was like a Royal Air Force base. I want to say.
Yeah.
So they kind of just took that over, and Habania itself is like just like a little, kind of like a rural town, you know.
Hmm.
But that's where we, you know, if we had R&R, that we would go to that camp, that main camp. But those early days, it was pretty much living native, you know. We still had to go get the big thick trays of like hot rats. They didn't have like KBR and all that good shit yet, so we were getting like the filth, slop, dehydrated kind of shit. But
Yeah.
so that was fun. And then, but from there, so we were told Camp Hob, that's where we're going to be for R&R. We didn't know where we were going, like within the AO. I don't even think we knew what our AO like entailed at the time. We just knew that they'd be like, all right, we're going to go run this operation here for however long or whatever. We had operations like that, where we knew how many days we'd be gone. Like for example, Ramadi, we went through a sector of Ramadi for almost a week. It was 6 days of just search and destroy, clearing, kicking doors down and shit like that, looking for a fight. So we did that for 6 days. Then we get pulled back to Camp Hob for a couple of days of R&R, and then we get sent off again. This time, that was Abu Bali. That was north of the Euphrates. That's where we're getting a lot of contact from. They would drive by north. They were on the north side of the Euphrates in this area that had never been. There was no American presence there since the invasion. Like, so we were going to be the first ones that, in this area. It was like rural farmland, like a lot of vegetation and shit like that, wadis and shit, ditches, mud fields and shit like, just the shitty terrain. So we inserted as a company overnight. So it was at night, undercover darkness. We went on like these little riverine boats and shit. So we're like, damn, we're conducting an amphibious operation in the middle of Iraq. This is fucking cool, But so yeah, we got to do that, man. That was a 12-day operation. That was probably the worst part of the whole deployment. That was where we got a lot of like Purple Hearts, in that
Yeah.
area, because it just hadn't been touched yet. That's where
Oh,
at the time that was where Al Qaeda kind of like had their R&R.
yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and like okay, so this is like what point of the deployment? Like how far are you into it?
This would be the February-March time frame. We got
Okay.
there. I think it was like January 18th or something of '07 is when we got there.
Yeah.
And for up until that first operation that we had in Ramadi, we got pushed out as platoons within the company to different AOs or different houses like in within the AOs. So again, we were just what we did. I think what we did was we told families that, hey, we need this house. It's of strategic importance. It's located in an ideal area for us to operate out of. If you have family, can you go to them, stay with them, and we will pay you rent while we pretty much militarize your house. So sandbags and all that good shit, and concertina wire, fortify it. But it's in the
Yeah.
middle of villages and shit. So we weren't on camps or bases for really the whole damn deployment. To be honest, it was like the entire deployment. We were native, like living
Yeah.
native. I mean, we didn't
What
have
are,
showers or any of that shit.
yeah. What are they telling y'all like the biggest threat of this deployment was gonna be, like small arms fire, or was it gonna be like IEDs or what?
Yeah, they were really big on IEDs. IEDs were going to be big, and snipers. IEDs and snipers were going to be the problem, and they were, they were
Yeah.
ended up being the truth.
Yeah. So let's talk about this 12-day mission that you were on. Like, I know you said you guys were up in this area that, like you said, was it like the Al Qaeda kind of like took, like that's like their what would you call it? Like their home base, I guess you could say, because
Yeah,
it
like
wasn't.
pretty much where they like rest and relaxation. That's where they would go if they wanted to be like, all right, we're gonna chill for a little bit.
Yeah,
This is our
probably
area.
refit and shit like that. And
Yeah.
like so you guys go over there, right? Like you go there as a company, or you guys go over there as like a platoon, or what?
Company. It was a company size element. So we had about, I think at the time we had maybe 180 Marines and corpsmen. So we I can't remember the exact day, but we inserted overnight. pretty much just jumped off the boats, laid down, go.
I just want to hop on here real quick and give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Craig Fleming at Fleming's Cleaning. Go ahead and use code word GWAT13 for your next commercial or residential cleaning. If you're in the San Antonio area, please hit him up. It's fall, it's dusty. Let's get your house or your commercial property clean. If you haven't done so, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel, share this content, like, and hit that notification bell. Follow us on all major socials: Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. We're also on Spotify, so if you like to listen to podcasts on the road, go ahead and check us out over there. And with that, let's continue the episode.
A few yards up and then lay down, provide cover while the rest of the company gets up and gets online. Pretty much all the way down the bank or whatever. And then from there, it was just like, yeah. It was pretty.
Wait, so are y'all walking, or what are y'all doing? Like moving vehicles, or what are you guys doing?
Yeah, right. So to start off with, I think it was just infantry. Like it was just us just jumping off these boats and laying down in the prone, making sure our sectors are fucking clear. And then when we get the word the rest of the company is here, we got up, man, and just started pushing like online.
Right.
That countryside, just any buildings, houses we found, we had our designated like sector, our sectors and all that for this platoon and that platoon. You guys worry about this sector over here. We got this sector, and it was just like, if you can imagine, maybe 3 or 4 platoons like online, know. So it was a lot of dudes, doing that.
When you okay, so like when do y'all first like take contact during this this mission, and you're like, damn, this is what I imagined what Iraq would be like.
Yeah. Before we got here to Abu Bali, we had an idea, just how serious it was, because the engagements, the drive-bys, IED threat. There was 2 Marines who were killed before we made it to Abu Bali. I think we lost our first Marine maybe 3 weeks into the deployment, and
right.
So we were like, damn, okay, we're in it now, and but this damn place, man, like that they knew the area. Obviously, they knew the area a lot better than us. They knew. I mean, they even had weapons caches and all that. They had they could move in and out wherever. The populace was they were sympathetic towards Al Qaeda. They didn't like us. And we knew we were in, a really bad area. It's that feeling, it's almost like somebody's running their fingers on the back of your neck the whole time, dude. You're like, ugh, dude, an uneasy feeling.
You could just tell it's like unwelcoming,
Very, very, very.
Yeah.
Even dude, Ramadi wasn't even that creepy, And Ramadi right away, it's kind of fucked up, man. Just going back to Ramadi, and this is kind of where we knew it was serious already at this point, was when we get into Ramadi, we jumped this wall to get on this side of the city that we wanted to get into, and then start pushing, clearing, house to house and everything. But I remember I got into this one house, and of course it's at night, so you have the nods on, you're moving through, you're clearing the rooms and all that. And I remember I was standing there after we had got done clearing this building, and we were waiting for the rest of the company to finish up. So we kind of went firm. And I remember I was standing there, and I looked down, and I'm in this blob, like it's like this damn big. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I moved my nods out the way. I looked down, and I had a little moonbeam flashlight or whatever, and I'm like, oh shit, I was standing in blood. It was just a big pile of blood, and there was some brass casings and shit around it, and there was a drag mark like going off. I was like, oh shit. I was like, this is fucking serious,
Yeah.
Like here's fucking Iraq for you, But,
yeah. That sounds like some Hitman stuff, dude.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, but apparently, I don't know. I mean, I heard. I don't know. You know how that goes. That it was an American. I think it was Army at the time, but it was an American who'd been shot in the head. And
Yeah.
That's what happened. And I was like,
Okay,
fuck,
so
dude,
so let's get the Ramadi deployment. Was that your second one, or was that like on this same mission?
This is the same one. Yeah, this was
Oh,
the
okay.
first one.
So,
Yeah.
so you went. Okay, help me understand the timelines here. Okay, so
Mhm.
you guys, is that like before that 12-day mission, or is it after?
Before. This is before
Okay,
the. Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. So that's like your
February. That
shit.
was. Yeah. That was. Yeah. That was like the real like oh shit kind of moment. Like okay
Yeah.
it's like damn all
But
right this is
you didn't see any like fighting up until like that Haben, was it not Habanea? What is it? What did you call it? Up
Abu
above the
Dhabi.
Euphrates, Abu Dhabi. Yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't see. Did
Abu
you see
Dhabi.
any major fighting or anything like that?
No, a lot of it was them trying to just hit and run like drive-bys, like a lot of drive-by action going on. Snipers. There was we did our squad. Or now this is down this the squad size element. Our specific squad. We actually engaged some guys across the Euphrates. It was an IED emplacement team, and they would roll up on these damn in these bongo trucks, and they, you know, how they did it, and I'm sure you're familiar already. How they did it in they placed IEDs in like sections, like teams and shit. They didn't just like go up there, dig a hole real fucking quick, and then place the bomb in there, fucking fill it back in, and then take off. Like they would take a damn near a week to in place one damn IED, and they would have their specific teams. Like say they would have like a transportation team, like get the actual device over here or whatever, and then drop it off. Then the next team might come over, a few hours later, start digging, and just trying not to look all suspicious and shit. And then they would take off, leave or whatever. And then here comes the team that actually puts the shit in there. They would do it like that.
Yeah.
But we actually caught one in the act of these guys that came in on a bongo truck. So we patrolled up north to it almost like it was essentially like a hill, almost like a little ridge, and it overlooked some like farmland down here below you, and then the Euphrates is right there after that, and
Yeah.
then beyond that is Abu Bali, and that's where we saw it. So these two dudes come up on this bongo truck, or I guess there's three of them because the driver. But they're in the back. One of them jumps down. He's going to place this IED inside of a crater, inside of a hole that they dug. And our we were relaying the shit. Now it sucks for me because the way that we were spread out, I was on the right flank. I would have been on the fire team that was on the right flank. So there was a bend, and I'm kind of so I'm kind of holding security it's kind of we're shaped like this, right? And this team that we're on, I think I'm looking at it right. Yeah, so I would have been way
Right.
over here, and the guys that got the kill, just giving this one away, they got the kills. They would have been like way over here, so I could hear everything going on, but I couldn't see anything. But they got word, or they got confirmation. Or they gave the confirmation to Maine that yeah, we have a legit IED. There's a team here that's in placing an IED for permission to engage.
Yeah.
So yeah, they got the go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, fuck them up. Yeah, so they started the ambush. It was Icorn again, lucky bastard. He got the he got the first kill. It was this tracer round. So he had that tracer round. He's like, dude, when I hit him, and this is it's sadistic, but it's cool to me. But he's like, man, when I fucking hit this dude, you can see the tracer round hit him in the fucking skull, and then it just flew off into the air, And that's when I heard Jake, the other saw gunner, he starts opening up, and he like cut the other guy in half and shit. And I'm like, man, damn. So you bastards got the kills. You got 2 kills right there. That's fucking awesome. That's
Yeah.
cool. But so we at least got that. I don't know if we were the first. I don't know if we were the first unit to get those confirmed kills, but we got them pretty early on. So yes, that may have been the extent of an actual. It wasn't really a firefight. It was just us ambushing them. So,
Yeah.
but they did have a sniper that was watching them that had Overwatch for him because they engaged Icorn up on the when he was up on the hill on his elbows like this after he had made contact and all. So they shot. They just missed him. The round kicked up dirt like right in between his elbows. He's like, oh shit. So then they kind of rolled back down the hill, and then Icorn just kind of froze, and he's like, damn, I got to kill. and I almost got fucking killed. Jake's like, man, get the fuck down, dude. So he grabs him out of the bed. He's like, pull him down. So he pulls him down. Then we pull back to a house, maybe a football field behind us, a football field away. We get up on the roof. By this time, we're trying to call in air to maybe, can we get an airstrike on this building? We saw where it came from, and it was the most fucking exhilarating experience, man. Like just waiting, for it, because I could hear the comms going on. And I'm like, oh fuck, please green light this shit. Just let him just drop this fucking ordinance on this building, please.
Yeah.
And you could hear it. You could hear him overhead. It was fixed wing, and you could hear him like circling and shit. We're like, oh shit, here it comes. For
It's like, hey, the Wrath of America, right? You're like, the Wrath of America,
right.
dude. Yeah.
yeah. But man, like for whatever fucking reason, they said no. They denied it, called it off. So we had to just pull back and get out of there. And that was the end of that one. But yeah, that was the same area though where those guys were at was Abu Bali. We hadn't, this is well before the op took place.
Okay. When you were so like, would you say like that was the most kinetic activity you had that whole deployment was on that 12-day op?
The operation to Abu Bali, the op name was it was Northern Forge.
Yeah.
But the most,
Like that.
I think the most.
That whole deployment, like, would you say that was the most active you had?
Not for me personally.
I'm talking about for you.
For me, just for me.
Yeah.
No, no. So it was 10 days before my birthday. This is pretty fucking crazy too when I think about it, because I just really don't think about it. But so it's May the 2nd of 07. So this is well after, this is after Abu Bali, this is after Ramadi and all that good stuff. We'd essentially started pulling like gate, kind of like ECP, like checkpoint duty at this. It sucked, but that's what we were doing for this stint, just right outside of Fallujah, and so we were running ECP, checkpoints, in and out traffic, essentially, coming in and out of the city. We had to, search vehicles and shit like that. Keep our eyes. We had BOLO lists and all that shit, so keep our eyes open for any kind of, suspicious kind of shit and vehicles, people, But I remember while we were doing that, we were out. We just took 2 Humvees. There was maybe 7 or 8 of us, and what we were tasked to do, was just go right down the road. I mean, this OP was like right, just couldn't have been any further than 100 yards down the road. I don't remember being that far at all. So we were gonna go there and get like hot rats for the platoon.
Mm-hmm.
So we go there, and while we're there, some traffic kicks off about there's a vehicle. It's on the BOLO list. It's heading down. It's going down. I forget the damn street name, but it's going towards Fallujah. I believe it was the old bridge, the Blackwater Bridge. So since we were out there and we didn't have a corpsman with us, completely unprepared, by the way.
I was gonna say, why do y'all go out with that? You're a medic, dude. But go ahead.
Yeah. Yep. Complete. Because that's all we thought. That's all we were doing, was going to get them hot rats real quick and haul ass right back. So we get the call out to go chase this fucking vehicle down, dude. And so we of course it burns us, man. We're in big fucking Humvees, and they end up taking off. And for whatever reason, there was a whole bunch of people, man, civilian, like foot traffic at the base, the start of this bridge, trying to get in and out, and of course vehicles and all that shit too. I'm like, oh, this ain't good. And I'm always in the up gun, so I'm in the lead Vic, so I'm sitting there, I'm looking around, I'm scanning all the sectors, doing what you got to do, and nothing looks suspicious, nothing looks out of place, other than it's just crowded for whatever reason, like it's jumbled, it's a clusterfuck.
Right.
But this vehicle had pulled off to the right and down this little hill, and it led the drive led into at the time it was kind of like a makeshift like hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So they pulled in there and they ditched it and they blended in with the rest of the people there. But a couple of the Marines get out. Of course, I'm staying. The drivers are staying. So there's maybe like 3 or 4 Marines out on foot searching this vehicle. And I'm trying to watch, everybody around the damn vehicles, because they're kind of close. I'm watching everybody here, and I'm trying to watch their backs as well. And I'm watching all the buildings across the way because, the city's right there. And the read lines, there's all kinds of shit that you just, you're watching. It's just training. It's just, you're not thinking about it. You just know that, all right, something's about to fucking happen,
Mm.
And I think we'd been there for maybe, maybe 50 seconds to a minute, and I'm like, we've already been here too long. We've been here way too fucking long. The road that we're on is like elevated. There's hills on either, like drop off slopes on either side, so you kind of stand out. And I'm like, man, we've been here for too fucking long. No sooner than that thought crossed my mind, dude, it was I heard the first snap like that, and I was like, oh, yep, there it is. There was I think it was like a husband and wife. We later came to find that it was a husband and wife who worked as mercenaries. But I remember I saw one of the policemen that worked at the bridge. He went down, and then of course everybody starts fucking scattering. I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. So I'm just watching people, making sure that the closer people, anyways, making sure they're not coming up on our vehicles and shit. Nobody did. They all just kind of they took off, scattered in different directions. And then I'm starting to watch the buildings and tree lines. And now at this point, I'm trying to look for like muzzle flashes and shit. And then they got what they needed from the vehicle. They took pictures and shit like that. Turns out the vehicle was legit. They like cleared it out in the trunk. So what they did is they like kind of, I guess they drilled a hole big enough to fit your muzzle through and still be able to see. You know what I mean? Like they might, so they might
Yeah.
put their muzzle like flush. Like say like here's the outside of the trunk. They might be able to put their muzzle flush, so not stick it out, but like keep it flush, and then also have enough space to where they can use their optics, to look through.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. So they actually took pictures laying down in the prone. They carved out like this spot in the car itself, so you could lay down in the prone. Your feet would be up there by the steering wheel or whatever, and they'd be just sitting there while somebody's driving. I guess it was
Mhm.
kind of the same. I don't know if it was the exact same thing. Maybe you remember the DC sniper, maybe something
Yeah,
to that effect.
yeah, I've heard around this time that you were there, like there was a bunch of snipers over there, and they do
Yeah,
all the army and the marine guys that I've had on, they do make comparison with the DC sniper.
yeah. It was the first thing I thought. I was like, man, that's some crazy shit, man. But so all that shit was going was going on, and I'm keeping my head up because I want to see. I want to try to find something. I'm trying to find anything. There's still Marines out there,
Mm.
and that's when they started trying to. They wanted to. Later we found out they weren't really trying to kill like us. They weren't. They were wanting to disable the vehicles first, and essentially make it a big giant just roadblocks. And anything that we did from there on would have to be on our feet. So they were trying to kill the vehicles, and I don't know what the hell what they were using, man. But the rounds were they were API. They were armor piercing incendiary. So I'm sitting up there in the up gun, and I hear the first couple of snaps, and I'm yelling back at Parker, he was the other up gunner behind me, and I'm yelling back at him like, man, do you see anything? Muzzle flashes, anything at all? He's like, dude, nothing. I don't see where the hell it's coming from. You can hear it. You can hear the snaps. You can hear the damn the signature, the rifle itself, just boom. You can hear all that shit, but you can't see anything. So the sniper then he hit the windshield. He was trying to kill Icorn was the driver. He tried to kill him. Hit the windshield, and there was a big fucking spider web. I heard it hit the windshield, and I heard him go, "Oh fuck!" And then I see this like smoke with like shiny, glistening like particles come up, and I'm like, "What the fuck was that?" And I look down, and I see the glass, the big fucking spider web, and I'm like, "Oh fuck!" They tried to kill him.
Uh,
It didn't work. The glass fucking, it's like that damn thick, so it held, but it did make it all the way. It came through. The round was
uh,
actually coming through the damn
yeah.
glass by the end of it all. So I'm sitting there. I'm still trying to fucking trying to scan, trying to find anything. And that's when Icorn, he's like, Neal, get the fuck down, dude. Get the fuck down. And he says that and I don't remember it. It must be a repressed thing. I don't know, but this is whenever the windshield got hit. I thought he got hit, and apparently I reached down and was like grabbing on his face. You know, I'm like, dude, are you okay? Are you all right? Are you fucking good? He goes, yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm good. I was like, oh fuck, dude, I thought shit got you, man. I was like, oh fuck. I'm looking at the spider web. I'm like, damn, this shit's fucking crazy. So then I'm like, fuck it, I'll get down a little bit. So I get down, like just enough to where I can look like under the shield, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like kind of looking through, and I can still hear the damn thing snapping overhead and shit. I'm like, dude, I got nothing. I can't see shit. He's like, Neal, just get down, man. We're gonna end up picking up the Marines, and then we're just gonna fucking get out of here. We don't have a corpsman. We don't have shit with us. I'm like, all right. So I go get down, and I get inside the actual, like, I just kind of like squat down, and you know how tight they are in there, and I'm sitting there, and then the motherfuckers shot. They hit, like, I guess they were trying to go through the thinner skin right here, like where the outside would be, like where it comes down like this, you know.
Oh.
And it sent sparks into my face. I was like, oh shit! It's like these motherfuckers are coming through. They're coming into the cabin.
Yeah.
And so like, no sooner than that, we'd been turning around slowly, and we got the Marines picked up, and we got back. We made it back to where we were going, back to our original base, and it turns out I think they hit the vehicles a total of like 8 times, some shit like that. I think each one got 4, like 4 each, you know.
Yeah.
And as we were going, like as we turned around and got out of there, they shot one more time, and it hit the trunk of my Humvee. It hit the trunk. The round tumbled and it impacted into the back of my turret, and there's a perfect like dent, and you can see the size of the round, the shape and the size of the round. You know.
Yeah.
As it skipped off the damn, it, like, here's the turret. It goes boom, wow, and it just did whatever, after that, but. It left like black marks and shit, man. It was coming through. Like when we got back, I felt like where the round that sent sparks in my face, and there was a lump there. The round was pushing through. I was like, shit, dude.
Yeah, you were that close, shit. Dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man, it's like, dude, my birthday's in 10 days, man. I fucking lucked out with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. That was probably one of the more wilder times, but
yeah. As a young Marine, man, how do you feel like you're doing what you signed up to do?
Yeah. It sounds really cool. Like, when you think about it beforehand, and I'm not gonna lie, man. It's not to sound like a hard ass, but it was, even that was kind of like fun in a way. It was, I guess, exhilarating, that adrenaline rush that everybody talks about, man. It was like, whoa, dude, that was fucking insane.
It's the high.
That kind of thing. Yeah, dude. Yeah. And then, the exhilaration that, you're still breathing, after, it felt pretty close, it's that, but yeah, I think I got what I was looking for when I signed up.
Okay, so like so when you come back from that first deployment, like obviously you already know, like, hey, I'm going back out in another 7 months. Mm-hmm. Like, but at that time you're like, what, maybe a E3, right?
E3? Yeah.
So like,
that was a terminal lance.
Yes. So when you get to that, when you're in E3, man, you get back to Camp Lejeune, right? And then you see, like, how do you feel? Like, you're like, hey man, I'm that fucking, you know what I mean? I'm that Lance Corporal dude, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the salty Lance.
Especially like, hey, new Marines are coming in too, you know?
Yeah. That it was. I told myself, I'm like, man, whenever we get home, if I make it back home, here, and I have to, we have to bring in the new Marines and help train them up. I swore to myself I wouldn't be like a dick, like I wouldn't be a dickhead, like
That's good.
senior Lance or whatever. So I
Yeah,
never
that's
was.
good on you.
Yeah, I was like, nah, if these guys signed, they raised their hands, they volunteered, they signed up during a time of war. That takes balls, man. So, that's to me, that's just they all had my respect instantly. Now, if I told them something, you know, specifically when it came to any kind of like combat experience or whatever, I wanted them to listen. I wanted them to take it seriously. But I was always like the first guy to make crack jokes and shit with them, man. I was never. I don't think I ever really took on that senior Lance Corporal, you know, mentality or
Yeah.
demeanor. But no, yeah, but they were good to go, man. They were good Marines. They were really
Yeah.
good Marines.
Do you feel like you have something to offer? Like you're still going to deploy with the same unit, so like, do you feel like you have something to offer to, like leadership wise too? Like you feel like your time is coming?
Uh, yeah. Well, I didn't like. I didn't really want to. I didn't really want to like. I guess take on like a leadership role. I guess if that's the best way to put it. Like
Right.
I felt like I could do better if I was just like if I could stay like yeah, I guess in the dirt. You know what I mean. If I could
Yeah,
stay
you
in
want
the
to be
dirt
like
with
you wanted to be like front line type shit.
yeah, yeah. So like if I could offer any kind of knowledge or experience to those guys on that level, I just think that they probably would have got it more. That's just coming from me. I know there's a lot of guys that took on that kind of a role, that leadership role, man, and they fucking thrived with it. But they probably felt better that way. They probably felt more comfortable doing things that way. I was just one of those guys, man. Like, dude, fuck, dude, I'm a Lance Corporal, like here in the dirt with you, man. Fuck yeah, like, yeah, we'll train and all that shit. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Do
I
you?
never,
No, go ahead. You never what?
yeah, yeah, I never really
Sought
had
it.
the desire to really, you know, just go way up, let me take on the squad leader role or anything like that. I was cool with, just man, give me the saw and point me in the direction, you know.
Yeah. Um. Okay. So like, where you going back to the same area of this of Iraq?
Yeah, so it was like the exact same area really. So that second deployment and this one was nowhere. I'll say this about the two deployments. It was like night and day. That first one, especially those first like 4 or 5 months, man, it was like the Wild West. Essentially, we were still kind of living native, dirty, and shit like that. '08
Yeah.
'08 was different. It was actually a lot. It was a lot less kinetic for us.
Yeah.
We not our platoon or our company, but we did lose 3 Marines within 3-6 on that tour.
It's kind of weird though, because like you're not the only one that I've heard. It seemed like there was a dramatic shift from like probably like late '06, '07, early '07, and then like what
Hmm.
like it slowly evolved into like a political thing
Yeah,
in '08. You know what I mean? And
yeah, yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but I know like Afghanistan was just kicking up around that time.
Yep,
So I don't know if that's
yep.
the reasoning or I'm not too sure, you know what I mean? And I've heard that a lot about the '08 deployments. It was more like security. It was
Hmm.
like less
Yeah,
patrolling, you know what I mean? And just guarding stuff. Like it kind of like
yeah,
it sounds like it would suck ass if you're like infantry, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it sounds like it
yeah.
would.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was nowhere near like the first one. It wasn't. That was a lot of SAFSO, like a lot of hearts and minds kind of shit. Which I get it. You need to. I guess you need to have that. You don't want people against you, but it's like, damn, dude, this as we saw fit, man. It wasn't a job for infantry at all. But
Yeah.
we were just like highly trained peacekeepers, humanitarians, I guess.
You know, it worked though. It
Yeah.
worked in Iraq though, because Iraq is still everything that we did for them. I mean, we still have a presence there, and then also like,
Mhm.
I mean, I think it worked. From hearing from the stories of like the success stories that we've done over there, it definitely. I think the hearts and minds, as much as we don't like it, I think they appreciated it.
Yeah. I think so too. I think so too, man. There was, and this was actually at the end of our. I think it was at the end of first our first tour, was it? We were. This is whenever we started really working with. It was what was known as the Anbar Awakening. That's whenever like a lot of the former like Al Qaeda guys and shit were like, dude, I don't know if this is the right side of history, and they started turning over new leaves and shit like that, and actually started working alongside us.
Yeah,
A lot of the village like sheikhs and all that were like, yes, the Americans are good here, da da da, that whole thing, and decided to fight against that, against the terrorism.
hmm
I remember we were about to leave. We were about to redeploy back to the states. The deployment was done, and we told the one of the head. I think he's like one of the heads of like the militia or something. But the dude had tears in his eyes, man. When we told him we can't stay here any longer. We have to go back to the states, and that let us know, man, that we did do some good there.
right.
That they valued our presence. And that and at some times, maybe most times, we were needed. And that's how I think that's how you look at it. It's Iraq's. I think Iraq is pretty good off now, especially like I've seen like random like uh shit. What's that damn Snapchat, and they got that geo shit where you can go on there and tap on a place on a map that's like lit up, and that's where a lot of like people record and shit like that. And I
Yeah,
remember I was like, damn, you know what? I'm gonna go check that out, man. I went and checked out Fallujah and shit. Dude, it's like built. It's some dude like just driving his car or whatever. He's got the Arabic music playing, and he's going down the street like on like Route Michigan or some shit. And on the other side of the street is like lit up buildings, like there's legit electricity, like gyms and restaurants and shit like that, just lit up, and it looks so damn like westernized, man. I'm like,
yeah.
damn,
Some
that is
some
that's
freedom.
yeah, man. I'm like, that's not the Fallujah I remember seeing, dude. So I mean,
Yeah,
like good on them, I mean,
right.
it looks at least that part of Iraq looks pretty good off, man.
It's funny that you bring that up because like I was just gonna tell you like one of my podcasts I did with my friend and he was actively in Iraq and I'm like
Yeah,
that literally just shows like what you said they appreciated it and then like they actually the help that we gave them they actually took it and whether
yeah,
whether we agree with the country or whatever I don't really like that, that's like I said that's political shit but we're talking about like just people they took what we gave them and they did it you know what I mean.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
but like Afghanistan, dude, Afghanistan, it will always be like
yeah,
that. Like
yeah. Man.
so
Yeah, I never did get to go to Afghanistan. As a matter of fact, man, our unit they deployed to Afghanistan maybe 2 months after I got out. I was like, damn, I
yeah.
missed out on that one. Fuck, that
So
was that was the margin push.
yeah, when you got back from Iraq the second time, like obviously your contract's coming to an end already, and were you like, hey, I'm done with this? Is it because the last deployment kind of sucked, and you're like, nah, it's not really infantry shit anymore, or what?
Yeah, man. And I was actually we were at a bar. It was called Heroes. It's on base right next to the barracks. We could walk there. And I remember I was talking kind of just like uh, without all the rank and shit involved. I was talking with an officer, and we both had been drinking. I was like, sir, my time's about up, man. He's like, I don't know if I should reenlist. I just don't know where the unit's going next. And if it's Iraq for a third time, and with the way it was this last deployment, I don't know if I want to do that again. And he just kind of told me, man, you have to. That's just something that you gotta have to. It's hard to take, man, but you gotta do that on your own. There's nothing I can say to you. I was like, shit, yeah. So no idea. I had no idea where the unit was going. So I was like, fuck, I'm 27 now, and I'm like, I'm still somewhat young. I guess I could probably get out. I think I worried my mom enough, you know. She had the
Yeah.
unfortunate experience, man. The first tour over there, she heard, it was artillery going off and shit. So she's
Yeah.
like, oh shit. The
Did
few
you?
times I got to,
Were you like
but yeah,
no, like so like when you're, is this the time that you got in trouble?
with the with the DWI, I
Yeah.
did get it. Yeah, yeah.
It's
That was
cool, man. Like when I first got in the army, dude, it was like if you didn't get a DUI or DWI, like you weren't gonna make sergeant major, dude. So
right.
like you talking
Yeah,
about it, I was like, I don't really give a
yeah.
shit. I knew plenty of NCOs that had them. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, man, that was yeah, so that was actually like, what was it, 3 months before I was getting out. And I was watching, I'll never forget it, man. I was watching it was UFC. One of my buddies, he stayed off base, and we all went over there and hung out, and you know did all the fun shit together over there all the time. And we had on the fights. We were watching the fights, and I remember I was like, damn, I'm I'm feeling pretty good, man. It'd be cool to maybe keep this shit going. Well, then my phone rings, and I answered, and all I hear is a bunch of screaming and yelling. And the person who I thought called me for like help was was my buddy Cadden. He's since passed away, but he I guess he had ass dialed me, but all I heard was like screaming, like yelling, like fight, like confrontational. Dude, I'm so fucking drunk. I'm like, I just Irish goodbye out of there, and I start driving. This is he was in uh, Wilmington, so this is like maybe a 40-minute, 45-minute drive, and I'm going, man. I get maybe 10 minutes from the location from where he was. That's when I got pulled over, and the cop who pulled me, he was cool, man. But he's like, dude, he goes, I'm not even gonna ask. He's like, I already know you've been drinking. I was like, shit, yeah. I'm pretty sure he could have smelled it. So that, I'm like, yeah, I'm not even trying to fucking fight that one. But
Yeah.
he's like, all right, man. If you can run these field sobriety tests, man, and you come out clean, man, I'm just gonna let you go, whatever. Of course, that didn't happen. I blew like some fucking crazy limit, But man, I ended up going down this and going to the jail. And he's like, dude, he goes, man, it's not like you were swerving all over the place. You were straight, but you were just going a little bit faster than what you should have been. I was like, I appreciate it, sir. It's just that doesn't make me feel any better, but but that probably makes me feel a little worse, actually. Yeah, so I get down there, I stay overnight. One of the Marines comes and bails me out. Not bails me out. He just came and got me, but and then of course that was when I was at the job. It's called a FAP job, Fleet Assistance Program, I think is what the acronym was. So it's one of those like cool down, get ready to transition, out of the Marine Corps, kind of
Yeah.
go to back to civilian life, kind of a job shit. You're still Marines, but it's so damn laid back. But I bypassed the option to call up the my staff sergeant at the time. It's like what you're supposed to do is call your damn platoon sergeant, right?
Yeah.
Who go up the chain, right?
Your
Go up the
leader,
chain.
yeah,
But I was like,
your immediate
yeah,
supervisor.
yeah. So I'm like, fuck it, man. I just called one of the Marines, like, yeah, man, you think you can get me out of here? He's like, fuck, dude, yeah, I got you. And so then of course I had to explain that shit. And then I went to, it was like the next, I think, yeah, it was the next day. I went to, of course, platoon sergeant already knew about it. Then I had to go talk to like the fucking command, like the sergeant major and shit. And, man, damn, I'm like walking, but all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, I'm walking by a bunch of first sergeant, sergeant majors. I'm like, man, damn, dude, where the fuck do all these dudes come from? And you know, I go in there into the office, and he's like everybody. By this time, everybody in there kind of knows what happened, why I'm in there. So, closes the door behind him, and he sits down. Of course, I'm standing at I'm standing at parade rest, and he just continues. He just berates, just yells, screams, "Dun, dun, 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 dun." as loud as you can. Make sure that everybody, you know, outside of the door can hear it. And he stops and he goes, you know, I had to do that, right? I was like, oh shit. I was like, yes, Sergeant Major. He goes, yeah, dude, you never been in trouble. You never were on the police blotter or any of that shit. He's like, I know you're a good Marine, but they have to hear that. He's talking about all the Marines that work in the office, but it's like they have to hear that. Like, man, keep your head up. It was really cool. It's like, keep your chin up, man. It's not the end of the world. Everybody's done it. Just some of us just never got caught. You know, it's one of the. And I heard that from my unit 3-6. I had to go back to them. I had to check back in like right away after this shit. And I had the same conversation with the company first sergeant, company sergeant major. Man, it was pretty fucking intense. But I was like, this shit. I felt worse because I wasn't getting like told I was a piece of shit. You know, like why are you guys fucking being cool about shit? Yeah, exactly. And, oh, dude, what made it worse? What made it even worse, man, is that when I was about to get out, and this is while I'm serving the 45-45, like 45 days of restriction and 45 days like half pay. Of course, I got busted down in rank and shit. They had a formation for a couple of the Marines who were getting out, and with honorable discharges, they had like little, they almost look like diplomas, right? They're red, and you go up in front and receive the your honorable discharge. You know, you're essentially your certificate saying that you were a great Marine. I was one of the Marines. So right after, while I'm serving this fucking 45-45, I'm in formation to go up here with like maybe 2 other Marines to get an honorable discharge fucking like diploma from like the first sergeant, dude. I'm like, good fucking night, man. And I'm like in formation, and I'm walking back, marching back behind the formation. I'm just standing there like, fuck, you piece of shit, dude. You know? But yeah, this is them saying, yeah, we're gonna make you feel guilty, but it wasn't, man. It was all genuine, and in my own defense, I never did get in trouble. That was the only time I got in trouble. It just happened to be three damn months before I got out, But I don't know, shit happens. Nobody got hurt. Nobody was with me, so.
When you got out of the Marine Corps, how was it, dude? Like, I mean, you're older, you're 27. Older, that sounds like you're old, but I mean, in military year, that in military year, that is pretty old.
Yeah, old
so like, how did you feel when you got out, man? Like, what was it like? Kind of shitty?
Yeah, man. Yeah, felt empty. Like I was missing something big, I remember whenever because I had a truck at the time, and I remember loading up the truck. I loaded up the damn truck bed with what I had, and I thought what I had was gonna show a lot more. But I had 2 tubs, maybe I don't know, maybe 3.5 feet wide, maybe 2 feet deep, full of clothes, like camis and like civilian attire and shit. 2 of those in a sea bag. That's all I had. And I'm standing there looking at the shit. I'm like, man, damn, this is all I got to show for the last 4 years, And that hit me right then and there. I'm like, damn, am I making a mistake? Like getting out or. But I stuck to my decision, man. I made that drive home. And I had to do this shit without a license, dude. Like I had to be very careful driving, at least through the state of North Carolina. But
dude, you're out of control,
man, dude. And I was driving in the middle of the night, like it was, because I got home. It took me maybe 13 hours, I want to say, altogether. So and I ended up pulling up in the front of my parents' house. I rolled up, in like the front yard area. On the street there at about 6:30 in the morning, and I just stopped. I was like, shit, here I am again, And I look at the house. I'm like, damn, shit, what am I gonna fucking do? I didn't make plans at all, and it hit me so fucking hard. It hit me hard whenever I saw what was in the trunk or in the truck bed. I was like, damn, dude. So I don't know. I don't know if I made the right choice here, but I did, and the only thing I can do now is just stick with it and try to make the most of it. And yeah, when I pulled up, man, I was like, this is not going to be easy.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
you know, one
do
minute,
you lose purpose and stuff like that? You know?
yeah, man, I was like, dude, I don't know what the hell. First of all, I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew the GI Bill was there, but it had been so fucking long since I've been in a classroom, you know. So that thought right there, like, immediately kind of deterred me, you know. So you know, I'm kind of just day to day thinking about, damn it, I have to do something. I got to. But while that's going on, man, I'm with, you know, the VA trying to, you know, I had already started up it was like a quick start claim, I think is what they called it, while I was
Hmm.
still in. So I had already gotten like the ball rolling. You know, I already got the ball rolling with them. So I had like appointments and shit to go to. So at least that kept me kind of busy, you know, somewhat. And it also had me around other veterans, you know.
Yeah.
And I that's what I was missing. I was that I didn't fully grasp it until I was actually out and back, you know, here in Florida. I was like, dude, I miss my brothers, man.
Yeah.
Where am I gonna find that? You know, I said I'm not gonna, and I still haven't. It's just not gonna happen. You know, took a long time to realize it, but thank God for like social media. You know, there's one good thing there is that you can keep in contact a lot easier with those
Yeah.
guys, and you know, of course we exchanged numbers and everything, but it just wasn't the same. And you know, like everybody gets out and they scatter across the country back to their hometowns. You know, and you're not with them every day anymore. And it was over like that. You know, like we did get out whenever we were getting out. Some guys were getting out, you know, maybe a week or so before this guy, and then that guy was next, and then you know, so it was kind of like one at a time was leaving. And
Yeah.
before I knew it, for whatever reason, I was like one of the last ones, man. I'm like, fuck, man, this sucks, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's how it went, man. Of course, you know, uh, I was
Did you
careless,
like?
you know.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. Did you like kind of like
Yeah.
spiral out of control a little bit or no?
Yeah, I got heavy with drinking, uh, pretty heavy with drinking. Just kind of trying to find something. I don't know if that's part of like the adrenaline thing or what, man. But I'd find myself like getting shit faced, like hammered drunk, and then driving around, driving from bar to bar, you know. And that, you know, that tapered off, you know, whenever I got married. But I still did like to drink, even if it was at the house, even if we weren't going anywhere. You know, I still kind of I'd want to drink, you know. But then, you know, things happen. The marriage doesn't work out, and then again it was like all over again, making another adjustment, you know, on top of still trying to figure out navigate, you know, that shit with
Yeah.
you know your brothers and all. But I guess they describe or they I guess they kind of label those things like war, divorce as like major life altering events. You know, I never I don't know I guess so. I don't really I don't look at it like that, but it clearly the both of them had an effect. You know,
Yeah.
especially just trying to maybe even I don't know forget or fill a void. You know, whatever it may be, but it was alcohol that was going to do it. You know, and I quit drinking 2.5 years ago uh, because I couldn't just sit there and have a couple of beers. Like say I'd meet the family downtown or something like that, and we'd have a couple of beers at brunch or something. And all right, yeah. After a couple hours, everybody's all right. Yeah, I guess we're gonna head back to the house. Not me. I'm gonna sit there at the fucking bar, you know, at that wherever we are. They're still serving alcohol. I'm gonna fucking take it, and
Yeah.
that's how it was, man. You know, I like and then if I got bored, I'd move on somewhere else, you know. And driving, you know, I'd go
Yeah.
drive somewhere else, find another pub or a bar or whatever, and keep drinking until that got boring, and then go find another one. I would do that shit. Sometimes I would go to after hour bars, man. I wouldn't be home until like 6 in the morning.
And
It's stupid.
what made you realize like, hey, I have to stop doing this?
Uh, whenever, whenever, it was a couple of things really. It was whenever whenever I was drinking, I couldn't just have that couple, man. I could not stop at just like say 4 or 5 beers. I'd have to keep going. It just wasn't enough. I'm like, man, no, hell no. The other thing, is I was wanting to do it every day. I was like, no, dude, it's a problem. It's becoming, if it's not a problem, it's becoming one. So I was like, fuck it, cold. It was actually, I can tell you the exact day. It was it was Saturday night into that morning, 5 in the morning, before the Eagles and Chiefs played in the Super Bowl. 2 years ago, or the first time they played each other. And I was like, man, you know what? I'm just gonna go home, pass out, and I'll wake up and watch the Super Bowl. Well, I didn't wake up. I had a splitting fucking headache and felt like shit, and I slept the whole day. I missed the entire first half of the Super Bowl. I'm like, man, damn, I feel like shit. You know what? This is as good a time as ever to go ahead and say fuck it and stop. Just drop the damn drinking. You can't control it. So the only thing that you can control is not putting a damn bottle or a can to your fucking lips. And I said I'm gonna take that. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So that was 2.5 years ago, man, and I don't regret it. I don't miss it. Uh, I don't look back and say, damn, I wasted 2.5 years. I could have had fun here at this bar, or that bar. I don't look at it that way at all. It's like, no, I feel clean. I feel better.
Yeah.
Like overall.
Well, I want to say congratulations, man. First off,
Thanks, man. I
and
appreciate that.
also thank you for opening up about that. Like, there's a lot of people that they use that alcohol or they use drugs and stuff like that. And I don't know if you've seen some of my posts on Facebook and stuff. Like, it's that's what it's about. This show is like redefining that purpose and then showing that like not everybody is so different. We all use similar coping mechanisms. Another one that people don't ever think about is like when they eat like fast food, dude, and they gain copious amounts of weight when they get out, right? Because they're trying to mask things,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and so that like I know that it's hard for people to find that brotherhood again, right? And people think they may never find it, dude, but like sometimes you just got to talk to somebody like what we're doing right here, dude. I mean, I don't know you at all, dude, and here we are, an hour 36 in.
Yeah. I know, man. Yeah. It's amazing, man. It's amazing what being given just a few minutes or an hour and 37 minutes, what that can do if for you to just be able to like just I think it's called free association, like writing, just saying whatever comes to mind and just talking
Yeah.
about it, man. It's needed, man, and I think unfortunately, I think a lot of guys, a lot of us in the community are like, man, it's weak. It's so weak to air out any kind of weaknesses or emotions or feelings or whatever it may be, man. But
Yeah.
it's the adverse is true, man. You it takes a tremendous amount of strength to actually open up about things that bother you or have you questioning life even. It takes a tremendous amount of strength, and that's why, man, I always kind of say to myself, man, fuck the stigma. Dude, mental health that's something that should be talked about way more. And especially since it's us here, man, especially among the veterans, the veteran community, man. It's there's too many guys that have lost their own battles, and
Hmm.
probably more than likely because they felt like they couldn't talk about it or because they thought of it as being too weak,
Yeah.
and it's just not the case. It's not the case, and it should be talked about.
Yeah, I've been told this is like the best therapy session people have had, and I really appreciate when people tell me that stuff because like even like everybody's dealt with the VA or private therapists and stuff like that, and they just don't get it, dude. Like
Mm.
they obviously never been through the situation, and they just, dude, honestly, it's better to talk to somebody that's been in a war zone, with a tight brotherhood
Yeah.
than talking to some guy that has a doctor degree, freaking telling you, hey, we got to up your dose on this medication. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it sucks.
Yeah,
It
man.
truly sucks, man. Like I just want to be heard, but you're not listening. You're just trying to treat me as like a fucking paper. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah, yeah, man. It's the pills thing, man. It's like just here, take these and you'll be all right. It's like
Right.
no, man. What's gonna happen is somebody's gonna take those pills and they're probably gonna go out and get shit faced drunk and then not wake up.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
it's terrible. Talking is so much. It's so much better. Especially like you said, I can see where like maybe seeing somebody be or I guess take on like that like a very empathetic role if especially if they've never experienced it before. I can see how that could be helpful, you know what I mean,
yeah.
because it shows that they genuinely care and that they want to hear you.
Absolutely.
But like you said, man, it's just there. I think all of us have that same mindset. It's like it's man. I just think that somebody who's been through the same things would better understand. It's no dig at anybody who's never been through it and is still helping people. I think it's fucking great, but personally, I think I'd want to talk to somebody who has an idea. That's just how I feel. Yeah.
For sure. Well, Neil, that's we're coming to the end of the podcast, man. Do you have any questions for me?
Uh, no, I can't think of any, man. Just like I'm honored, man, that you thought to have me on, and I think it's great what you're doing. It's needed, and if ever you want another jarhead up on here again, man, I'm more than happy to come on.
For sure, dude. Well, Neal Fauver, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you already made it this far, go ahead and hit that subscription button or follow if you're on Spotify. Share this content. Once again, hit us up on all major socials. I'm always looking for guests. Thank you so much for checking it out. We drop a new episode every Wednesday. And with that, we'll catch you on the next episode.